Well, good morning. It's John Neal here. I say good morning. It's 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, the 2nd of January, 2025. It's a lovely day. Not a cloud in the sky, actually. Quite crisp. It's just below freezing as well, hence the big jumper. And welcome back. I launched yesterday a new playlist. It's not a new channel on my YouTube channel. It's just a new playlist. So if you're not interested in a religious content, turn off now. Still with me? Good. Right. Yeah, it was good. We've had a response. If a response is 127 views overnight, so people have had a look in, and one or two questions have popped up. First one was, which is a pretty good one to start with, what makes people good or bad? And so we'll explore that later on. And I think I've got a viewpoint from the Baha'i point of view about that. And then, of course, somebody else has said that they didn't know what the Baha'i Faith was. They'd not heard of it before. So let me go straight to the website for the Baha'is. That's Bahá'i.org, and show you what is on there. But before I do, let me just give you my 2-minute version of what I would say the Baha'i Faith is. First of all, it is an independent world religion. It's not connected with any other one. It's not a part of Christianity or Islam or anything else. It is totally independent. And the Baha'i Faith has been around since 1844 when it was founded, and has grown ever since. And you can now find Baha'is virtually everywhere in the world, believe it or not. Its distribution is in fact second only to Christianity. That's distribution, not numbers, but distribution. And in Britain alone, you can find Baha'is from down in the bottom of Cornwall right to the Shetland Islands and Orkney, where I've been and seen these people. It's absolutely fantastic. So we're thinly spread out, maybe, and there are about 5,000 or 6,000 in Britain and about 8 million in the world, notably in the southern hemisphere, South America, and I think there are 3 million Baha'is in India, for instance, and a lot in Africa and the South American countries. There you are. So now you know roughly where it is. Let's dive into the website and have a look and see what they have to say there. Bahá'i.org, and it says at the top here, let your vision be world embracing, the words of Baha'u'llah. And let me just read out a couple of paragraphs, what Baha'is believe. For instance, throughout history, God has sent to humanity a series of divine educators known as manifestations of God, whose teachings have provided the basis for the advancement of civilization. These manifestations have included Abraham, Krishna, Zoroaster, Moses, Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad. Baha'u'llah, the latest of these messengers, explained that the religions of the world come from the same source and are in essence successive chapters of one religion from God. Baha'is believe the crucial need facing humanity is to find a unifying vision of the future of society and of the nature and purpose of life. Such a vision unfolds in the writings of Baha'u'llah. The website then continues with other subjects that you can look at, what Baha'is believe, what Baha'is do, and various aspects of those topics. Now, obviously, there are a lot of aspects of the Baha'i Faith I could tell you about, but I'll wait until there are some prompts in the comments below about what is going on within the Baha'i Faith and the philosophy behind it and some of the teachings. So, if you want to know a particular subject that's it within the Baha'i Faith, do comment below and I will get around to addressing them. Now then, the question of good and evil. Very interesting. This I think the comment went that most people are good, but some people are bad, and I'm not quite sure why. Right, okay, gotcha. And I think that's quite true. I think what the basis of the Baha'i Faith is about is two aspects of us as human beings. First of all, as a human being, we are undoubtedly the highest form of the animal world, of creation. We're head and shoulders above everything else. We've got all the other animals, and some are very intelligent, I know. But we have a sophistication and an intelligence which far outstrips all the other animals. And it is said that we therefore have more of an appreciation or trying to understand our existence and any idea of what God is about. Were man to appreciate the greatness of his station and the loftiness of his destiny, he would manifest naught save goodly character, pure deeds, and a seemly and praiseworthy conduct. If the learned and the wise men of good will were to impart guidance unto the people, the whole earth would be regarded as one country. Verily this is the undoubted truth. Of course, that then plays immediately onto science, because science is just trying to find out what our existence is all about, what the material world is, how it works, and how it functions, and what we can make of that. And I think, and one of the principles of the Bahá'i Faith is that religion and science are not opposing each other, that they're just really searching for the truth about reality, but from two different angles. So the one thing about our existence is that if we were left alone and weren't educated at all, I think we would be subject to our own animal basics. For this you might well refer to the wonderful novel by William Golding called Lord of the Flies, where a group of schoolboys are marooned on an island and eventually turn into quite animal groups and end up killing one of them. As an animal, what we as human beings want to do is eat, be safe, be warm, and basically procreate. I said something in town once to somebody. There were pigeons on the floor just milling about. And if you watch pigeons, all they seem to do is try and eat. They try and procreate. They're always trying to jump on each other. And then they'll fly away if there's any danger. And I said to this man, I said, look, they just want food, sex and safety. And he said, yeah, that's what human beings want, really, isn't it? I went, yeah, probably so. And of course, those aspects of our lives can get well out of hand if we're not careful. And how many crimes committed by people who want to do, I'll say evil, I'll be careful with the word evil because it conjures up other things. If they want to do bad things, how much is it because of their selfishness of feeding those animal instincts which we need to put under control? This quote from Abdu'l-Baha gives the flavour of what I mean. They gave up everlasting glory in exchange for human pride, and they sacrificed greatness in both worlds to the demands of the insistent self. Now, we have to feed, we have to eat, we have to procreate, we need children to maintain the population. We've got to be safe, we've got to be warm. All these things are civilized things to do. But if any of those things get out of hand and we overindulge ourselves in them at the expense of others, it's a bit like fire, really. You know, once we invented fire, that was lovely. It's nice and warm, kept us, it cooked the food, kept us warm, everything was fine. But it's extremely destructive as well. And it doesn't take much to go from the wrong way with these things and end up with a very destructive aspect of our lives. So the animal instincts are there and we've got to keep them in place. And then the other aspect, therefore, is to raise our spirituality, our humanity to a higher level. And that doesn't mean to say, and the Baha'i writings certainly do not indicate that we need to be ascetic, you know, to live like a hermit in a cave. But we need to live our lives as we will, whether you're married or not, in society, have children if you do or don't, and serve humanity. And I think the central issue on top of that, which is, I would like to think, fairly unique to the Baha'i Faith, is the unity of the human race, which was alluded to in the first statement in the Bahá'i website there. So yes, people are bad, and it's essentially their selfishness that does it. I mean, if you think about it, if somebody steals something, they just want whatever they steal. You go shoplifting, for instance. They think, well, yeah, I want it. It's mine. I'll have it. But it's not yours. You're doing somebody else out of their business, their possession, and it's a bad thing to do. And you see that criminals are really feeding just this selfish ego that is a totally wrong thing to do. And we have to judge anything that we do in life with that in mind to see if it is a matter of our ego getting the better of us, or whether we are working within society with some justice involved. Because if I do some work for somebody, I expect to be paid back, and that's what everybody does, and that's fair. But if we overstep the mark and expect that we get something for nothing, for instance, like stealing something, then that's terrible. So yeah, the idea of being bad is interesting. I'll just touch on here that even though if you read the Bahá'í writings, Baha'u'llah is often written with reference to the devil and Satan, but more in a metaphorical way rather than a realistic way. And he has clearly said that Satan as such, as a force of evil in the world, is not a fact. It's not true. The evil in the world is really a matter of our own selfishness. Where I can, I'll try and find quotes from the Bahá'í writings. And here is one. The evil spirit, Satan, or whatever is interpreted as evil, refers to the lower nature in man. This baser nature is symbolized in various ways. That's from Abdul Baha. And if you go a bit further than, the common criminal, if you look at egocentric, power-mad world leaders that we have them now and we've had them in the past, then suddenly that power, that ego, can really get out of hand, and terrible things can happen. It does happen. You don't always hear about, there are many world leaders who are extremely good. They have their own country's best interest in heart, and they are humble. And it's worth noting that humility to occupy those high offices is something that's very important, and one that is again addressed by the Bahá'í writings. Okay, so there you are. Thanks for the comments so far. If there's anything else been thrown up, or some comments or queries you've got about the Bahá'í Faith, or any big issue that you've got that I might be able to address, then do comment below and we'll take it on from there. Okay, thank you very much for watching so far, and you will see me next time. Okay, bye-bye.